This video is a hypothetical thought experiment and historical commentary created for entertainment and educational purposes. It explores historical events, economic theories, and questions about society, civilization, and human behavior. It is not a prediction of the future or a claim about specific people or events. Throughout history, every great civilization believed it would last forever. The people of Rome did not wake up one morning and realize they were living through the end of an empire. The citizens of powerful kingdoms did not know they were standing at the edge of collapse. Civilizations rarely fall with one single moment. They usually weaken slowly. A little less trust. A little more corruption. A little more division. A little more economic pressure. Until one day, people look around and realize the world they knew is gone. Now imagine a question. What if the greatest threat to a civilization is not an invading army? What if it is the moment people stop believing? Because every society is built on belief. We believe money has value. We believe governments have authority. We believe banks will protect our savings. We believe stores will always have food. We believe the systems around us will continue working tomorrow because they worked yesterday. But what happens when that belief disappears? History has shown us what happens when money loses its meaning. During Germany's hyperinflation in the early 1920s, the value of the currency collapsed so dramatically that people needed massive amounts of money to buy everyday items. Savings that took people a lifetime to build could disappear in a matter of days. There are stories from that era of people using worthless banknotes for practical purposes because the money itself had become nearly useless. A symbol of wealth became nothing more than paper. Imagine waking up and discovering that the money in your account no longer represents security. Imagine working all week, receiving a paycheck, and realizing it cannot buy what it bought yesterday. Imagine a world where the numbers on a screen no longer mean anything. Because money is not powerful because of the paper. Money is powerful because people trust it. Now take that idea and expand it. What if that trust disappeared across the world? What if banks froze? What if supply chains broke? What if companies could no longer operate? What if governments struggled to provide basic services? Modern society is built on millions of people doing their part every day. Truck drivers moving goods. Farmers producing food. Workers maintaining power plants. Doctors treating patients. Engineers keeping systems running. The world works because millions of strangers cooperate with each other. But what happens if that cooperation breaks down? History has seen civilizations face similar challenges. The Roman Empire was one of the greatest civilizations in human history. It built roads, cities, armies, and a massive economy. But over time, Rome faced political instability, economic struggles, military pressure, and internal problems that weakened the empire. Rome did not fall because of one bad day. It was a slow process. A reminder that even the strongest systems can become fragile. The same lesson appears throughout history. The Bronze Age civilizations experienced a massive collapse that disrupted powerful societies. The Soviet Union, once considered one of the world's strongest powers, dissolved after years of political and economic problems. The lesson is not that every civilization is doomed. The lesson is that no civilization is immune. Now think about the modern world. What if people started questioning the systems around them? What if people began asking whether the information they consume is shaped by money, politics, or influence? What if entertainment became more powerful than education? What if people became more focused on fighting each other than solving problems together? A society divided against itself becomes easier to weaken. Throughout history, leaders have understood the power of controlling information, controlling narratives, and controlling public attention. The question is not whether every event is planned. The question is whether people can recognize when they are being distracted from the bigger picture. Because a civilization does not only run on resources. It runs on trust. Trust between citizens. Trust between communities. Trust between people and institutions. And when trust disappears, everything changes. Maybe the greatest danger is not that people suddenly lose everything. Maybe the greatest danger is that people slowly stop believing that anything matters. They stop believing their voice matters. They stop believing their work matters. They stop believing the future will be better than the present. That is when civilizations become vulnerable. But collapse is not the only possible outcome. History also shows another side of humanity. When systems fail, people adapt. Communities rebuild. New ideas emerge. People rediscover skills they forgot they had. Neighbors become important again. Families become important again. The end of one system can become the beginning of another. So the real question is not simply, what happens if the world collapses? The deeper question is, what happens when people realize how fragile the world they built really is? Because civilizations are not held together by buildings. They are not held together by money. They are not held together by governments alone. They are held together by trust. And the moment trust disappears, everything built on top of it begins to shake.